Hey everybody, my name is Anthony. Welcome back.
I'm Wally.
And it's been a little long since we've done some podcasts. We've been slacking a little bit, but
Not
time to get back is better. Not slacking. We've actually we've been busy. We've been busy. If you've stayed in touch and kind of around December, November-ish, we talked about what we thought the market was going to do. Most of what we said kind of come true. Both me and Wally have started this year off pretty hot, pretty busy. So with that, Wally, what do you got going on right now?
Well, I feel pretty grateful because the past 2 years have been tough.
Mm-hmm.
And this year has been fairly busy. And it's a nice surprise. And that brings me to interest rates that we were going to talk about. And the thing is, the interest rates are still, some people would say, fairly high. They're in the sixes. Right. A lot of other people would say sixes is a good spot for interest rates. So, this is a debate that no one can ever win. The bottom line is, if you're thinking about looking for a home, then you need to talk with a lender, find out what you're approved for, and go find the home that you can afford. And then down the road, possibly refi your interest rate to whatever it may drop to, if it does.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, we could debate about interest rates all day. The bottom line, people want the lowest interest rate they can possibly get. So in a perfect world, we'd be sitting here, everybody would have 1.5% interest rate. That's not how it is, right? So,
no,
but
it's not.
Kind of what we always like to just tell people is, if you're sitting on the sideline, waiting for this to drop, and it's been 2 years, right?
You're going to see good deals come and go,
right?
And then you're going to say, "Oh, I should have jumped on that." Mm-hmm. Well, let's do it. Let's go find you the perfect home. And speaking of that, I have. Not to toot my own horn, but here I go.
There we go. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I'm doing a fair amount of business in pahrump. A little bit of business here in Las Vegas as well.
Unofficial king of pahrump right here.
Unofficial. But I have a client who is retiring from Washington who wants to move to pahrump, and we've already been looking at homes for her. I just got a call today from another person that's selling their home in California, retiring, wanting to go out to pahrump. Pahrump is becoming very popular. The bang for your buck is really amazing out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a very small town, almost 50,000 people, not quite. It's doubled in size in the last 20 years. I don't know that that's a very fast doubling in size or not. I don't really compare small town populations.
Right. But nonetheless, it's doubled, right?
It's doubled. And more people are knowing about and finding about pahrump.
Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing, again, if nobody knows about pahrump, you get a lot more land out there. So that's a big deal here in Vegas. We don't have the biggest lot sizes. Land is an issue here.
Well, land is an issue in Las Vegas.
You got a couple stats for us, right?
We are pressing up. Las Vegas is a valley, okay? It's surrounded by mountains. And we are just about as far as we can go on all four sides.
We're getting there.
Now builders and developers are talking with the federal government, BLM, and seeing if they can buy chunks of BLM, and that's happening as well. There was just an article about some land being opened up towards Red Rock, towards pahrump, mm-hmm. and also out on the north side. So that's how they're getting more land, but it's getting tighter and tighter.
And to go along with that, I think in the past we had mentioned this. In Henderson, they're going over that old mine, and they're going to put houses over that because, again, there's no more space. So something that an area that originally we didn't think we were going to put houses there. Like I said, we're in a desert, we're in a valley. We can't, we're not going to blow through our mountains. Our mountains are beautiful, so we got to find all the places that we can, to build. And kind of going along with that, it's interesting out in my area in the Northwest. I know me and you just did a video out near Sunstone, Kyle Canyon, the master plan. Out there, if you take a look at the Kyle Canyon, the master plan, everything they're trying to build, it's not much more space.
Because now you're edging up to government property. You're edging up to Indian property.
Yes, of course. Mm-hmm.
And you're also edging up to the fossils.
Yes, yeah. So for anybody who doesn't know, out kind of near me in the Northwest Valley area, They have it. I think it's called the Tule Springs
Tule.
fossil beds.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to go out there. There's like a little walk. You can kind of see the fossils, but that extends out pretty far, and it almost meets up, like what he said, with the Paiute reservation. So we don't have too much more land we can expand out there, past the Kyle Master Plan community. So that's what he said. Now we got to start looking into, you said we're looking into the Red Rock areas, potentially doing some deals there.
And that is also a state park, and that also has things that are protected. So looking at Red Rock is not the answer. I know they're going to start building homes south of where I live. I live on the south end of town. If you live here, you know where the Raiders practice facility is, you know where the M Casino is. I'm kind of south of that. So what's going to happen south of us, I live in a community called Inspirata. And what's happening south of us is, believe it or not, they're building another hotel and casino.
Oh, yeah. Stations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then past that is the Seven Magic Mountains. Those are going to go away. They're going to go up to Reno.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't even heard about this.
Starting in 2026, those are going to go up to Reno.
Okay.
They're going to build more homes, and then they're going to build another airport.
Out there, really? Okay. So we have big plans still for, even like you said, even the land that we have out there that is still vacant, we already have big plans for it. So,
yeah.
We're ahead of ourselves.
You know what? I was talking to someone about this the other day, and it's so true. Anytime someone's planning something big, it typically starts many, many years prior.
Of course.
20 to 30 years prior.
Right.
Summerlin, for example, which was started by Howard Hughes, okay? His vision for Summerlin started around 1960, and I'm not exaggerating. Summerlin, that name, I think you know this, was his grandmother's name.
Okay.
And
I didn't know that.
I remember one time, because I used to work in the TV business, I was at Channel 8, local news here, and they have a little casita behind Channel 8. It's on Channel 8 property. And I went inside that casita one time, and it was still looking like it did in 1960. Still had the old phone and the old furniture. And there was this map on the wall, a framed map that was drawn, hand-drawn. And it was a map of the Las Vegas Valley. And it had San Francisco Street on there. Do you know what street that is? Sahara.
Really?
And the Las Vegas Boulevard with a little dot here for the Flamingo, a little dot here for the Desert Inn Hotel, the Frontier, and that was about it. But way on the west side of town was a dotted line, and it said Summerlin. So he was planning this 30 years before it started.
Right.
So my point to this, anything big started 20 or 30 years ago. Somebody started thinking about it 20 or 30 years ago.
And going along with that, this past 5 to 10 years, we've been kind of behind in building, right? That's a reason that we've been so low inventories, because we should have been building these housing developments.
Well, we ran
years
into
prior,
a pandemic. Right? We ran into,
of course, right.
The amount of people moving to this town was bigger than we could handle, basically.
Yeah, I remember we said it in the past, it's 115 people move here every day.
That's now, but I remember 20 years ago, the amount of people moving into this town, it was just record-breaking.
So definitely interesting to see what we're going to, kind of do with the land. And like you said, inventory is better now than it has been.
It is the best it's been in several years.
Yes. Maybe potentially that's why the market is starting to pick back up and get hot. People have more choices out there.
They have more choices, and I think people have accepted the fact that the interest rate is what it is. I think that's probably the biggest issue.
I mean, even, a couple months ago in our last podcast in December, we thought it would start trickling down a little bit. I know, we said it's going to be gradual, but it hasn't really changed much, right? It's still, in certain, many people's eyes, it's still too high for them. But again, if you're sitting on the sideline for years on end, how much of that are you paying in rent? You're paying somebody else's mortgage,
exactly.
Right?
Again, the bottom line is, if you're ready to move, let's talk.
Do it.
Let's talk. Let's talk with a lender. Let's see what you're approved for. Let's find you the perfect house that you can afford. Okay? And then down the road, if the interest rate drops substantially, you can refi.
And here's the thing too, if you're not in the position right now where you're ready for your house, that's perfectly fine too. I mean, I can't tell you how many people we work with, we have a real good lender that we work with that offers credit repair programs for them. So, we're talking with people 5 to 6 months down the line, helping them, to eventually be ready. So
and there's that, and then there's
it's always a good time to get started. Is what we're trying to say.
Depending on how much money you have to put into a house here in Las Vegas. Like if you're selling from Washington or Oregon or California, you may have a lot of money to put down. You might be able to buy it outright, or you may be able to buy your interest rate down substantially. So there is a variety of ways to get into a home. Let's just talk and see what all the options may be.
All right. Last thing that I did want to talk about, Wally, have you heard about this? We just designated our second cultural district, Filipino Town.
I did know about this. I actually brought it up to you a while back, but I see now it's actually coming to fruition.
Yes, yeah. So they have fully approved it. It is actually the second one, the first one being Little Ethiopia. But this one right here, Wally, I mean, you tell me, have you been down near the Seafood City and kind of, around the Boulevard Mall? There's a lot of Filipino influence if you've been out there. So do you have any experience?
I have been down in that area, just kind of crisscrossing, because it's kind of the middle of town, basically. If you got to go from the west to the east or back and forth, you'd kind of cross that area. So I'm down there periodically. I haven't stopped and gone into any restaurants or anything, but I know the area.
I'm a big fan of Filipino food. If you guys ever have any lumpia, send that to me. So I'm very excited for this. I hope that it opens the doors for future cultural districts. Las Vegas, like we always try to say, I mean, it's a huge melting pot. So
it's an amazing melting pot of people from all over the world, not just the country, but all over the world. I mean, the whole world knows Las Vegas.
Right. Well, thank you guys so much, for watching. I'm sorry, it's been a little bit since we've
promised
been
to get back
in
to you sooner. Next week.
Yes, next week we'll be back here. If you guys have any questions on anything, if you haven't seen our video, we were just out showing the Kyle Canyon Master Plan community. We do have some plans to kind of, go out, show Summerlin. Like Wally said, he lives in Henderson. We can go show Henderson. So anything that you guys want to see, any questions you have, hit us in the comments.
Just send them in. Any questions about any area, pahrump, Mount Charleston, Las Vegas, Henderson, Lake Mead.
We handle it all.
Yes, everything.
All righty. Hey, thanks,
See
guys.
you soon.
Take care.